Hey, I'm John Dow, the Conversation Coach, back with another video. This is much more simple and much more English focused. This is going to be another "What does this mean?" and it's going to piggyback on the last video I made about that Tekken rant. But without further ado, let's talk. So in that last video, there was a case of mistaken identity. Somebody was upset about the video game and he was trying to publicly message the producers, but he accidentally messaged an author who had nothing to do with the game. And in the authors community, this went viral because everybody was trying to make sense of the lingo, and a very famous author replied, the one and only Stephen King. His response was strange, interesting, tantalizing. So that word right there, tantalizing. If you wanted to substitute, you could say fascinating or maybe intriguing. This is something that really just captures your interest. The problem with saying interesting is something could be interesting, something could be really interesting, but the word interesting gets so overused that the impact and impression can feel kind of dull. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Oh, a lot of people say that word when they don't know what else to say, and they'll say it when they don't actually find it interesting. So conceptually, I think you get the gist. Like, they're very easy to stack in this series. Strange, interesting, tantalizing. Could he have just said strange and interesting? He could have, but this is just more for added effect. Now, adding to that, I would say that the word tantalizing is much more useful for you to comprehend. I don't think you're actually going to be using this word, especially not verbally. Now, the exception being, what is your social circle like? What type of individual are you? If you call yourself an intellectual, if you actually say the word philosophy out loud on a regular basis, you might enjoy using a word like tantalizing. But for the rest of us, for you English learners out there, I feel very confident in saying that you will never use the word tantalizing. All those problems I said earlier with the word interesting, you can enhance it slightly as long as you change the inflection of your voice. So if you do find something interesting, wow, that's interesting, right? Or don't sound like Ash from Pokemon, but do something with your voice. You can't say interesting with a flat tone. Oh, wow, that's interesting, right? Like the pronunciation might be perfect, but something's going to get lost in translation, especially if you really do find it interesting. But then, of course, the inflection of your tone has to match the wavelength of how you speak. So if you normally speak flatly, well, I guess you can get away with it. But if you are a happy, cheerful, energetic type of person, and you're not raising the bar when you're using certain exciting words, there's going to be a disconnect there. All right? So that is going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. That was an explanation of what does tantalizing mean. Give it a thumbs up if you thought it was helpful. At me on Twitter, COMMDAO, if you have any other questions. Share the link or comment down below if it still doesn't make any sense, or if you'd like to make a request for a future video. Calm down, let's talk.